Good morning. As a continuation of the Saga of the Soul, we are discussing some of the philosophies. The last time we have already discussed the Jain philosophy, and we have completed the heterodox philosophy that is Charvaka, and today another school, that is Buddhism, we'll be discussing. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, when Swami Vivekananda was arguing with him, the Buddha never accepted God, then he said, he of course realized, he of course knew that, but only bodhe bodh he realized within and didn't express, that's all. And basis of that, let us chant this stotra from the Upanishad. Om Bang Me Manasi Pratisthita. May my speech be fixed in the spirit, in the mind. Mano Me Vachi Pratisthitam. May my mind be fixed in the speech. Aviravirima Edi Vedasyama Anistha. O Atman, do thou manifest thyself unto me. May my mind and speech be fit to reveal the knowledge. Ritam vadishyami. The right will I speak. Satyam vadishyami. The truth will I speak. Tanmam abatu. May Brahman protect me. Tad bhaktaram avatu. May Brahman protect the preceptor. Om Shanti. 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 Peace, peace, peace unto all. Hence today we are going to start the Buddhist philosophy. Lord Buddha expressed his philosophy by saying, I teach only two things, O monks. He was giving the sermon to the monks. I teach only two things. The nature of suffering and the cessation of suffering. These are the two things. Lord Buddha emphasized that nobody should believe his teachings out of faith. Instead, should examine for themselves whether they are true or not. Whether they are true or not, that they should check. So that is what the teachings of Lord Buddha. The goal of Buddhist philosophy is nirvana. The like Jainism, Buddhism also heterodox system. They do not believe in the Veda. We have just chanted from the Veda. What to do? The founder of Buddhism, that is Siddhartha, he was the Gautama was born in a royal family of Kapilavastu, it is in Nepal, in 6th century BC. Became Buddha the lamp of wisdom after realization of the truth. The sights of diseases, old age, and death brought in his mind that this world is full of misery. So, you know that his life, I am not going to tell about that because mostly we'll be concentrating on his philosophy. Because his father, after his birth, he came to know from the astrologers that this boy is going to be a great sannyasi or a great king in any way. So his father, naturally a king, wanted to see his son a king. So he kept him in such a way so that he do not find anything outside their small kingdom, and particularly his own place, the palace of the king. See, he was in luxury, he was very happy, but as the fortune, then naturally he came out one day when he was grown up. He came out and saw the disease, and he saw an old age, he saw the death, which was completely unknown to him. So his mind immediately reacted, and he thought the world is full of misery. And at the same time, by observing the life of a carefree monk, he understood the way out of suffering. Buddha was primarily an ethical teacher and a reformer, not a metaphysician. Like all great teachers of ancient time, Buddha taught by conversation, and his teachings were also handed down for a long time through oral instructions. Dispute arose a short time after Buddha's death among the followers of Buddha about certain matters of doctrine. And that is the reason Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's direct disciple, Swami Saradananda, he wrote the great book, The Great Master. Why? Because the people were interpreting, even at that time when Sri Ramakrishna just passed away, people were interpreting things in a very different way. If you go to different places, people, they talk to us and they say, Swami, you are in Chicago? Oh, Swami Vivekananda gave a wonderful lecture on zero. Zero? He talked about Atman, which is full. But they won't listen. Somehow that conception came and they go on telling that was another person who was inspired by Swami Vivekananda. He was a mathematician in the present-day Pakistan, Karachi. From there he came and he was speaking about, because Vivekananda was inspiring people all around, and particularly from the Asian countries in India, to come to this land, America and Europe, to tell about the wonderful contribution of India. So there he came, he spoke about the zero, it went in the name of Swami Vivekananda, and these people won't listen. So that way always it goes. And another person there, he rang me and told, Swamiji, have you heard the voice of Swami Vivekananda that is recorded? I can send you. And then don't send, because that is not the voice of Vivekananda. Somebody read out, he's a nice voice, that's true. But that is not, because Vivekananda's time, the record was not there, that type of development was not there. So this is the way they always, Buddha's teachings were also, it spread it so much, and obviously the dispute was there. To settle them, a council was called at Rajgriha near Patna, Bihar, India, in 483 BC. That was the first council. The Kashyapa, he was the disciple of Lord Buddha. He recited Abhidhamma Pitaka. This Pitaka means a basket full of knowledge. Abhidhamma Pitaka. And that is the metaphysical view of the teachings of Lord Buddha. This Kashyapa, he recited. He never read. Recited means whatever he remembered. And now the interesting thing is, only one person remembering one particular teachings of Buddha, and that he is reciting, others are listening, memorizing. Can you imagine the concentration of those people? They were constantly receiving that, memorizing that, and also checking. Some of the senior people who were there, they were checking whether he is telling the right thing or not. So that way the first. Second, Upali. He was also another disciple of Bhagavan Buddha. He repeated Vinayaka Pitaka. This Vinaya Pitaka is the laws and rules of the discipline that Buddha asked to follow by the monks and the devotees. So these are the things you must do and you should not do like that. Like our Swami Vivekananda, he dictated the rules and regulations for the monks. Sitting in one place, suddenly he asked one of his direct disciple, can you write? I am going on telling, write it down. He wrote it down. That is the rule that the Ramakrishna mission sannyasis they follow. So that way Buddha also gave a rules and regulations. There are stories that the Buddha used to walk from one place to another, and obviously he was followed by almost thousands of monks. As because his philosophy always is to say this whole world is full of misery. We will come to that. So naturally people used to renounce the world and to follow him to one place to another place. When the Buddha is going, he was followed by thousands of people, and rich people they used to arrange for their stay and food. Young people, they used to walk fast, and they used to go and occupy most of the cottages. And the elderly people, when they reached over there, they found all the cottages are full. They used to spend the night under the trees. Of course, Buddha never could know that. He went in his own way. His direct disciples, Ananda and others, they were so close to him. He had his own cottage. But in the morning when he came out, he found some of the elderly monks are sleeping under the tree. Why they are here? So they were supposed to be inside the rooms. Now that has been already occupied by the younger people. Then the Buddha said, no. From now onwards, from the seniority basis, that seats and the places and the food should be given. When other things are left, then only it should be distributed among the junior ones. So this way it goes. I can remember from the training center, the training center period for our life is very hard time. So suddenly the information came that the one bus has come from the training center boys and the Swamis. They will go, 2-3 buses were there. So they will take us to one of our center. This function is there. So at least some freedom. So all we ran and we sat in the first and in the window seat and all that. Then all the senior Swamijis came. There was no seat vacant. We were turning our face. Then one Swami came and told, remember what Buddha said? How many people of you remember? Then naturally they were and follow that. Go down, wait for the Swamis to come and sit. If there is a vacant seat, then you can come and sit. That too, according to the seniority, the first year, second year boys will come and sit. Then if it is left, then the first year, even in the first year, some seniors by age, they should come first, like that. Most of us were standing and going, what to do? So this way, all the rules, even in the monastic, so Buddha, he said that, and the Upali, he said these rules and regulations. Then came Ananda. He was very close to Buddha, very favorite disciple of Buddha. He was also in relation, his brother. He recalled the Satta Pitaka. The Sutta Pitaka means the stories, the Jataka stories, the famous Jataka stories a Buddha that comes from their stories and parables of the Buddha. Now we can understand how it was protected. Not that each and every one was remembering everything. Of course, nowadays no problem. You just put the switch on, you are recorded. So no problem, it will be recorded there. But in those days, they used to take the responsibility, I will follow this, remember this, you that, you that. So these are the three. The Tripitaka, what is the religious book of the Buddhist? They say Tripitaka. Tri means three, Pitaka, the basket of knowledge. Tripitaka is not one book, it is 3 sections of the book. Again, in the second Buddhist council was held in 4th century BC. Why? The one senior monk, he was visiting different places and he found the Buddhist monks are practicing many things in a very different way, very peculiar way. Then what is this? He argued, but the others told, no, this is the way we should go. So naturally, once again, they had to call a council, and that was the second council. It was in the 4th century BC, almost very close to the first one. And then came the third council, the famous council, and it was conveyed by the Maurya king Ashoka at Pataliputra, again in Patna, Bihar, under the leadership of a monk, Modgaliputta Tissa, Tissa, with an object to purify the Buddhism. This is very, very important. To purify the Buddhism, when a thought is, or the philosophy, or the movement is going, there are many other things that incorporate, and they also try to say that this is like this. Hinduism, you can imagine, much, much earlier than the Lord Buddha. Buddha was born in a Hindu family. He was initiated by a Hindu sage. Obviously, much earlier Hinduism. You can imagine so many things entered into it, incorporated in so many different places. But still, because of the Vedanta, because of the Vedas, Upanishads, and the other scriptures, this is still some purity is there. But people, some of the people, in the name of religion, they will be so cruel. And they think that they are practicing religion. They think that they are doing very good thing in the name of religion. Unfortunate. The more it goes into a religion, the more it damages the real philosophy. So here we find the Samrat Ashoka, he called the third, and the Pitakas, the basket of the teachings, these Tripitakas were written down in the third, and this was in the 241 BC, before Christ, 241 BC, this Tripitaka was written down for the first time. Buddha discouraged speculation in useless discussion on metaphysics. Those who are the followers of Sri Ramakrishna, they know that special teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. Aam khete esecho, aam khao. You have come to eat mango, eat mango. Why you are counting the leaves and the branches, and whose tree is this, from whom he purchased this tree? By that time, others will take away all the mangoes. The Buddha also, very practical, he said that you should not spend your time on this speculation, useless discussion. The most urgent problem is to end misery. They said the most urgent problem is the misery. Indulging in theoretical speculation on the soul and the world, etc., while suffering in pain is like a man hit by a poisonous arrow. Instead of trying to pull out that arrow from his body, people started spending time in the origin of the maker of the arrow and the thrower of the arrow and all that. And they say one person, he was drowning in the river. He was flowing and he was shouting, "Save me, save me." A philosopher was reading a book and was pacing up and down on the bank of the river. He saw that. He was the only person. So naturally that person who was drowning is says, "Sir, please save me." First you say, who are you? Second, when you don't know the swimming, how you came into the river? Third, if you are like this, he was going on questioning. He said, "First you saved me, I will give you all answers." But anyway, next the story never continued. We do not know whether he saved him or not. But this goes in this way. Some of the people will go on speculating, and some people used to come to Sri Ramakrishna and they used to go on arguing whether the Brahma is the biggest God, supreme God, or the Shiva, or the Vishnu. Sri Ramakrishna gave the answer by quoting another Pandit, a very scholarly person. When that question was asked, whether the Brahma or the Vishnu is the highest, and he simply replied, "I was not present in that meeting when the decision was taken." So that way, obviously, we can understand the unnecessary time wasting. People will be reading so many books without following. That is exactly what Buddha was also telling. And that is the reason, as the story goes, we do not know whether it is true or not, but it says that one person went to Buddha and he was asking, "Please tell me about God." Then the Buddha asked, "Have you seen God?" "No, I don't." "Your father?" "I don't think." "Your grandfather?" "I don't think." "Then why you are bothering your head with the thing that you whole generation never seen? You better follow the truth. Give the service to others. Develop the other good qualities." He came out and said, Buddha never accept the God. That is wrong. That's why Sri Ramakrishna, he said, no, he realized. But why to waste time about discussing that? If you follow and you will reach over there, you will understand that. You need not to bother about spending your time on metaphysical discussions. Whether God is there, Atman is there or not, just follow. So he said, Buddha often asked 10 interminate questions. Abhyaktani, he said. What is that? Is the world eternal? This is the first question. Second, is it non-eternal? Third, is it finite? Fourth, is it infinite? Is the soul is same as the body? Is the soul different from the body? Does one who has known the truth live again after death? Does he not live after death? Does he both live and not live after death? And the 10th question is, does he neither live nor not live again after death? These are the 10 questions. If you read the Brihadaranyaka, you will find this type of languages. Nowadays, if you repeat one thing, immediately people react. Why you are repeating the same thing again? You have said it is okay, but we will try to understand that, we will do that. But the Brihadaranyaka, if you read the same thing, they are going on repeating again and again. That was the system of teaching, so that it will go into your head and you can remember. The Buddha was also following the same strategy. Buddha insisted, instead of discussing metaphysical question, do that which does profit. What are those? Absence of aversion, absence of passion, and cessation of knowledge, inculcate knowledge, inculcate wisdom, inculcate nirvana. The 3 negative things, 3 positive. First is absence of aversion, passion, and the last. And inculcate knowledge, wisdom, nirvana. What is the difference between knowledge and wisdom? The knowledge is only the informations. There's a knowledgeable person, he has a lot of informations. Now Google is the most knowledgeable person. Not person, thing. Anything you ask, you will immediately get the reply. That's a wonderful thing, very wonderful. So that is the reason people have stopped gone to the library, they don't browse the books, and booksellers are also in problem because everything is available in Google. So it goes in this way. So obviously knowledge means a lot of information, but wisdom is the realized knowledge, knowledge which you have realized. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, you have heard about the milk, you have seen milk. These are all knowledges. But wisdom is, after drinking milk, you have become hishta pushta, powerful. So like that if you become, then only it is possible. Otherwise, that is the knowledge and this is the wisdom. Buddha was always stressing that you must have the knowledge and the wisdom, and then ultimately you should have nirvana. And very difficult to explain what is this nirvana of the Buddhist. Then whatever he said, Buddha, the enlightened one, who spoke of Majjhima Magga, that is the middle way. Majjhima Magga, the Pali word. In the Pali they say, maybe that I am not pronouncing properly, but according to the spelling it is almost like this. Majjhima Magga, the middle way. This is a great statement of Buddha, the middle way. Sometimes some people, they practice so much austerity, then ultimately, what is the goal of austerity? That is lost. Or some people will be indulging so much of luxury and they also lose their target. So in between you should go. As a human being, we need some clothings, we need food, we need also the friends and all the company. So these are minimum necessity. So it is better to follow Madhya Pantha, Avalambaniya in our Upanishad and also the teachings of the Swami Vivekananda said, Madhya Pantha Avalambaniya, that you should follow always the middle path. And Buddha said, Majjhima Magga, the middle way. What, O monks, is the middle way? Buddha asked, and he himself answered. He said, it is the noble eightfold path. So from here begins the philosophy of Buddha. But he didn't say anything about the philosophy. Afterwards, people explained in that metaphysical way. But he simply said, eightfold path, Ashtamarga, right views. First is the right views, Samyak Drishti. This is not Pali, this is Sanskrit. Samyak Drishti. Samyak means right, perfect. Drishti, the views. What is that? Understand that world is transitory. That is the central philosophy or the teachings of the Lord Buddha. This world is transitory. But the problem is to whom? And that actually he didn't disclose, he didn't thought of. He was only thinking about the people like him. So that is why Swami Vivekananda said afterwards, because of this reason, the whole society became very weak. That those who cannot understand that, what they will think? They always start thinking, oh, I am a sinner, I am a sinner, I am a sinner, as because I am living in the world. What is there? So if you read the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, you will find he makes the whole thing together. That is the special contribution of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Even the Shankara, he was also, we will find in the next Sunday, I think we will be speaking on the life of Shankaracharya, because that is his celebration will be there. So he is also speaking of this mithya, Jagat is mithya. Buddha said misery, full of misery. Jagat dukkhamay. To whom? Only to those For me, when I see the big aim, the McDonald's, it is dukkhamay, because I cannot eat that food. Because of my some physical problem. But those who are strong can digest, for them it's a good, happy thing. Oh, that is the aim over there, that means McDonald's will go and fire. So like that, there are different people. Some people who are in the Jagat, for them, it is so full of happy things. One elderly lady told, constantly we hear from you, Swamis, that this world is full of misery and it is completely temporary. That is true. But when I went and saw my first what's called grandchild, is a sweet dream. That is true. For her, the grandchild is so sweet and so happiness is coming out of that. Shall we take it out from her? That is the question. The first, he said, right views. Samyak drishti. Very good. So we have to understand, who can understand these? This world is completely temporary. That drishti, that thought should be there always. Sometimes some people, they say, why don't you come for our marriages? I mean, the marriage ceremony, Swami, you should come. We told, Swamis are holy people and they, in different places, they are holy. But except two. When a marriage is going on, we are not supposed to invite over there. We should not. Why? Because we don't like marriages. So naturally, when I go over there and stand, completely opposite thought will come in my mind, and that is not good for that person. So one should not go. And secondly, when a person is dead, we go to the, when he is sick, and sometimes on the dead we go and chant, but the thing is, for the final right things, sannyasi should not do, a monk cannot do, because we have already done our final rites. You don't, in the sannyasa time, before the sannyasa, we do our own final rites. Because we don't have children, we don't have progeny, who will do that? So without taking any risk for anyone, we do our own thing. And keep that at the feet of the Vishnu. When I die, I will get that whole thing. It is stocked over there. Maybe interest is also accumulating. So this goes in this way. The one should be very careful to understand this and then invite. The Buddha is telling, this is the right view, the samyak drishti for them. So understand the world is transitory. Second, right intention. Samyak sankalpa. Samyak sankalpa is that thought without ill will and cruelty, lust and greed. This is morality, samyak sankalpa. You should always take that oath. I am not going to do any harm to anyone every day. And then you go out and in the world. Third, right speech. Samyak vacha. Abstain from telling the lies and the harsh words. Samyak action. Samyak karma. The right action. Samyak karma. Abstain from killing, stealing, unlawful deeds. And right livelihood. Samyak ajiva. And this samyak ajiva, abstain from dishonest earning. Dishonest earning, sometimes Ratnakar, he was arguing with the Narada, I have to support my family, I only know this much, what to do? The Narada told, no, you should not, because you are committing sin, the wrong thing that you are doing, cheating people, killing people, looting people, with that you are supporting your family, that cannot go. So naturally, the samyak right livelihood, the ajiva, that is also very important. Whatever the livelihood that I will take that is not going to harm others. Right effort, samyak vyayam, that's called stop bad thoughts at the root. Stop bad thoughts at the root. When in the mind the thoughts are coming, immediately you should stop it. How? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said, take the name of Lord. So another thought that is entering into your mind, you can stop that by taking the name of God. If you cannot, then chant the name of God, or you can sing the name of God, clapping your hand. So obviously your mind will be diverted. That thought won't take the form inside your mind. And this is the right effort, right mindfulness. What is that? Samyak smriti. Be conscious of all acts, both physical and mental. These are all ethical things. And on the basis of these, vipassana, a very famous, nowadays very popular sort of meditation, the vipassana is going on. The main basis is samyak smriti. That you should be conscious of all the acts that you do. Observe your mind, observe your thought, observe these, observe that. That is the way they do. And right concentration, samyak samadhi. This is the last step in the path of nirvana. And concentration again has 4 stages. That concentration, the 4 stages of concentration, it says that first stage on vichara, reasoning, and the vitarka. Vitarka is reasoning, vichara, investigation. The meditation should be on these. First is vitarka and vichara, reasoning and investigation. Somebody said something, I like that, but then you have to analyze, is it going to harm others? If I think in this way, do in this way. So that vichara should be there. Atha vichara katyabhya. In the Upanishad they say, atha, now, vichara katyabhya. This is your duty to analyze whatever you have heard, whatever you have read, whatever you have seen. You must understand that, vichara. Everything, if we do that, that is the final thing. Naturally, one person, when he is thinking about that I should do this and I should not do this, you have to think in a very proper way, vichara. Second stage, concentration, free from reasoning, attain tranquility. First is vichara. When that is over, remove that vichara. Because you are convinced now, this is going to help me. The second stage of concentration will be without the vichara. If whole life if you go on doing that, naturally your mind will be constantly turmulating. Now tranquility should come, you should give up the vichara. If you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is asking his very close disciple, the householder, Master Mahashaya, promise to me that you will never do reasoning. Look at it. Promise to me that you should never do reasoning. Because when he is reasoning, unnecessarily wasting his time, and that is not the proper way of reasoning. So that's why the unnecessary wastage of time, to help him to meditate, Sri Ramakrishna said, promise to me. He was his guru. That you should not do the reasoning. So the second stage makes the mind tranquil, is helpful. Third stage, concentration, free from tranquility and the body sense. Even when the mind is tranquil, is calm and quiet, and the body sense also, a little bit of body sense is there that has to be removed. When you are meditating, that you are seeing a light inside your heart, and slowly, slowly your mind is becoming very calm and quiet, or concentrating on a beautiful, melodious music and understanding the words of those music, your all other thoughts have gone, but you are still holding something on. So that's why you have to remove that. And the fourth is the final, let's say, free from bodily consciousness, perfect equanimity, and this is the stage of nirvana. When there is nothing, so we can say, some people they say that it is the Buddhist nirvana is like nirvikalpa samadhi of the yoga. Patanjali Yoga Darshan, the nirvikalpa, no kalpa, there is nothing to hold on. Without that you are going in, that means you are going to the root. And on that if you can meditate, and that is called nirvikalpa. Yesterday in the Nivedita Nivas, in our that condo, and the we were discussing about this. When the mind goes into the original source, you need not to meditate because you are lost in that. But the problem for the ordinary people is this: the moment you reach over there, you cannot come down, you cannot come back. So within 21 days, when one person is dead, ordinary people, when reaching to the nirvana, body will die. Of course, he will be merged in the consciousness, but the personalities like Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, they could come down. And because of that, if you have noticed in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, even sometimes in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it has been noted, he used to develop a different type of the desire. I like to drink a glass of water, that is the desire. I like to visit that person so and so, that is the desire. The desire brings the mind down. Our problem is so much of desire, the mind is not going up. So heavy, so many desires. So anyway, this is the difference. Ordinary person practicing, reaching to the nirvana, cannot survive more than 21 days. That's the yogi, they say. Sri Ramakrishna also supported that view. But if a avatara, they reach over there, when they come down, they can survive. So this is what the essential points of the Eightfold Path of Buddha consist of three main things. One is Shila. Shila means conduct. Then Samadhi, concentration, and Prajna, knowledge. Buddha instructed to practice morality above all other things. Perfect Prajna, the knowledge of impossible without, knowledge is impossible without morality. He said perfect Prajna means knowledge is impossible without morality. Sometimes some people they say, he is a Bhagavan, he is this, he is that. Always we see whether he is practicing morality or not. That is the yardstick of a holy man. How you will know that person is holy? Whether he is unselfish or not, he is moral or not. That is called the holy man, holy people. Sometimes some people are coming and they are donating the whatever they have earned, some money, portion of their money, which is not properly earned, without paying the taxes or disclosing the whole thing to the government or the authority. That money, now they are in difficulty, they come and donate to the ashrama, and you accept. One great sage, so-called sage, he said, I do not see the color of the money. I use that money for the development of others. Many people clapped and appreciated. Wrong. Without the morality, knowledge can never come. If you are supporting that type of immoral work in the society, when he is giving you the money and you are utilizing for the betterment of others, you are thinking that you are doing good, but supporting the immoral act indirectly. So that fellow will think that, oh, I am pardoned now because some portion of my earning that is immorally I did, I have given to God. Wrong. Most of the Hindu temples, they have a huge place, and they say Gupta Dana. In Hindi they say Gupta Dana, secret donation. Wrong. Why you are giving secretly? Not for the name and fame? No. They are giving. If they give $100, they will say, write my name, if possible on the wall, if it is possible on the, they will be telling like that. but they come and give you $25,000 secretly. There is problem. So one should not. That is why Buddha is giving, in the language of Buddha it says, virtue and wisdom purify each other. Virtue, the morality, and wisdom, the realization, knowledge of realization, that actually purify each other. This is very, very important. So that's why in the beginning we have understood the Buddhism is more ethical and very practical than unnecessary philosophical and metaphysical speculations. To give a philosophical touch, Buddha's ethical teachings have been formulated in 4 parts. Now, other people are doing. They have given a philosophy. Unless you give a philosophy, the thought cannot remain properly. That's why this is very, very important also. Some people, they will follow and then they will misunderstand, or it will be other things will also incorporate in that complete. So that you have to give a philosophical status in that. So Buddha's disciples, they gave the philosophical, the touch in the Buddha's ethical teachings, and they gave the 4 stages. One is theory of dependent origination. Theory of dependent origination. That is from the beginning. Jagat dukkhamaya. So that begins. That is, they say, whenever a particular event, the cause appears, it is followed by another particular event, the effect. The cause and the effect. Nothing cannot happen without the cause. Something must be there. Cause and the effect. Sharat Chandra Chakraborty, a great Bengali writer, he wrote that the villagers, they found that the elderly lady, the mother-in-law, is constantly shouting and criticizing his daughter-in-law. But the daughter-in-law is calm and quiet. Nobody can hear anything from her. So naturally, they thought, why this elderly lady, the mother, is behaving like this? Then the Sharat Chandra, he came to, there must be some cause, that is the effect. The effect is the elderly lady, she is shouting, but what is the cause? But it was difficult to find out because there was a high wall all around. So he climbed a tree and saw the young lady, the daughter-in-law, showing the shoe to that elderly lady. So obviously that was the cause of that, and the effect is that. So the cause and effect, the Buddhists, the first philosophy, they say there must be a cause, so the effect. We are suffering. Why? There must be some causes. So that is the thing. Hindus also say, in your past life, you must have done something. So the cause and the effect. So that is the first theory of dependent origination. Second, theory of karma. The law of karma is a special form of law of causation as conceived by Buddha. Law of karma we also follow, the Buddhists also follow, otherwise he cannot give the answer. Why suddenly a person is suffering? There must be something before. So that is the reason, the law of karma. The Buddha's laws of karma depending on basics on the first one, the cause and the effect. So there must be some karma, some work. So that is the law of karma. You have done something, so the effect is coming. Theory of universal change and impermanence. The constantly Buddha is insisting that theory of universal changes and impermanence. Everything is impermanent. In the Vedanta, when you will discuss the Vedanta, you will find they will be always telling everything is Maya, everything is impermanent. Nothing is going to be permanent except God. Each and everything, right from the blade of grass up to the Brahma, everything is going to change. Our body, our mind, our family, our society, our whole everything is changing. But only thing we do not understand that. We are influenced by the temporary thing, whatever is happening. That is the problem. So this is the reason Rabindranath Tagore opposed Mahatma Gandhi. When the Mahatma Gandhi gave the call to all the students to come out from their institutions and to join in the freedom movement, Rabindranath immediately protested and said, this is a temporary movement, the freedom movement. We will do that. But let the young people study. Don't disturb their study. So when we will get the freedom, who is going to handle all our affairs in the free India? So that is called wisdom. So that is the thing I have to understand. If I do like this, what is going to happen afterwards? So we do something just with an emotion, then afterwards we suffer. So this is called the theory of karma. One lady I knew, the young girl, she was that time, and not putting much effort to her study, and she was thinking that she is beautiful and all that has happened in that age. She was doing like that. Whenever she came, I told, why don't you study well? And their parents are spending so much of money for your study. You will never get this opportunity afterwards. Study, study, study. But she didn't. Then she came to another city and married a boy who was completely opposite religion he was following. So you can understand the condition. One day, I forgot that, long afterwards, one person came, a lady came and told, she is crying so much, she has come to know that you have come to this city, will you please come and visit her? I told, I can go, but the problem is, am I safe over there? Because they do not know me, that will be difficult. So somehow they adjusted and then I went. Then I told, see the cause and the effect. The cause was those things. Now you have lost. Now you must try to be happy here itself. Otherwise, and she was showing that I have kept the Sri Ramakrishna inside the one almirah. Her personal almirah, she kept. I told, now you are doing it. When the time was there, you didn't do. So when you suffer, there is a cause is there. So cause and the effect and theory of universal changes, impermanence, Buddha said, know that whatever exists arise from causes and conditions and is in ever respect impermanent. That repeated impermanency again and again. The theory of non-existence of the soul, it is this particular theory that has taken the Buddhism out of the Hindu mainstream. The theory of non-existence of the soul, not that all the Buddhists they think in that way, one group they think. The Veda says about the permanent, the Paramatma soul, the permanent soul, Paramatma. Buddha denies the existence of such soul because conditional existence and universal change, soul is replaced by theory of continuous stream of state. The different aspect of his philosophy came to be developed by his followers along different lines, different times and different lines. Many schools came up. You will wonder, Buddhism, though primarily an ethical religious movement, about whom Swami Vivekananda said, the rebel child of Hinduism. Buddha is a rebel child of Hinduism because at that time, in Hinduism, so much of rituals were incorporated, so that he protested. Why you are doing so much of thing? Why not on the moral values? This is a rebelling, the rebel child of Hinduism. And afterwards, after the passing away of the Buddha, 30 schools came up in Buddhism. So that's why when you go to different places, you see different type of things in the Buddhism. Because of that 30 schools, the main are 4. One is nihilist, Sunyavadi. So whenever we talk about the Buddhism, they talk about the Sunyavadi. But there is only one school out of the 30. One is only Sunyavadi, the nihilist. They are also known as Madhyamika. Then Vijnanavadi, there's a Yogaachara. These are the 2 schools, and that is Mahayana schools. The 2 philosophy, the 2 different schools comes under one head, that is Mahayana. Mahayana means great vehicle. Yana means vehicle, Maha means great, the great vehicle. Why? It will take you to the Nirvana. So one is nihilist, the Sunyavadi. And again, the Bahanumeya, that is critical realist. Critical realist. Their reality, they say, at the same time very, very critical. And Baha Pratyakshavadi, direct realist. These are the 2 schools. One is Bahanumeya, critical realist, and it is Baha Pratyakshavadi, direct realist. They are called Hinayana. These 2 schools are under the banner of Hinayana. The Mahayana, Hinayana is the lesser vehicle. Why Mahayana and Hinayana? The difference? Because some people, they say, according to the situation we should work. And others, they say, no, whatever the teachings is already there, we should follow that. Don't bother about the present day world. That is the difference. Now, friends, I will read out from the introduction to the Indian philosophy that was written by the Satish Chandra Chatterjee and was published by the University of Calcutta to conclude. It says, Buddhism widened in course of time. It came to include not only the few select persons fit to follow this difficult ideal. Again and again we were understanding this is really very difficult ideal, but they never gave any options to the people. They all converted en masse. So it says, Buddhism widened its course in time. It came to include not only the few select persons fit to follow this difficult ideal, but also multitudes of half-convinced nominal converts who neither understood the path nor had the necessary moral strength to follow it. With the support of royal patrons like Ashoka, Buddhism gained its number but lost its original quality. So that is what is Buddhism, and next Sunday we will discuss about the Shankaracharya to celebrate his birthday celebration. Buddhism did a wonderful thing in this world. Why? The Brahmanism that came up in the main body of the Hinduism, that was restricted, purified, and also analyzed because of the Buddhism, the force of Buddhism. And it became so popular because of the patronages of the kings. And that is why always it is said, whenever the kings particularly and the business community support a particular religious faith, a philosophy, that ruined. Because they do not understand the real import of the religion, real essence of the religion. They always see the external thing. So one must be very, very careful. They say in the critics of the Christianity, the earlier Christianity was so pure. When the people were having the love for others, concern for others, the serving the others, they used to call Christian. People, particularly the Romans, When they used to see that some people they are helping others, the Romans jokingly used to tell them Christian, because they were so devoted type of people. Then afterwards, the first Roman emperor who was converted into Christianity, he ruined the whole thing. It's not my words. It's the historians, they are telling like that. The Constantinople, he changed the whole philosophy. Even the Jesus who believed in the past lives, that was changed. That is the Karmaphala theory, that was changed. And the theory of sin so strongly implemented because of these. And the king and the religious leader unitedly, they was ruling the people, and they were converting en masse only to control and grab the authority, administration, ruining the essence of the religion. That this happened in Buddhism, this happened in Christianity, but the pure Christianity is full of love. That is the reason Swami Vivekananda ji said, we love Jesus Christ, but we do not accept churchianity. That is the reason he said. And about the Buddha also, the pure Buddhistic view is so ethical, so wonderful, we accept that. And that's why the Hindus, they accepted Buddha as one of the Dashavatara. But the Buddhism as such, it is so very complicated now. So we have to go back to the original, and that should be our prayer to this great soul. Thank you very much. Let us chant. Om Shanti. 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 Hari Om. The lunch is there. Please go and take the lunch. We take some support money. There's nothing, as because you are the devotees. You should not take something which is given by some other devotees. When a person is giving food for the poor people, we don't charge at all. But you can pay $5 is nothing for a full lunch. That's why I charge this.